No, no, for sure. I definitely had a lot of influences from my family. So, my mum would always play like Kate Bush, Michael Jackson, REM, yeah, Radiohead. I didn't really get much influence from my dad because I wasn't really into Arabic music like as much per se. There's definitely is influences that carried into it like later into my music from like the Arabic scale and stuff. But I mainly got my influences from like my eldest brother who put me onto like Gorillaz, Avenged Sevenfold, like kind of like 2000s kind of like alternative like trip hop or rock or like what I mean metal kind of like shit like that. One of my sisters, she put me on to Avril Lavigne, Evanescence. So again, kind of in that like emo angsty kind of thing, which definitely, I mean, if you listen to my music, you can definitely hear like the influences of it, and like I think I took a little piece of every one of that, especially Gorillaz. They're all just like subtly sprinkled as like influences throughout my music. I think the goal of my music, from looking back at like my influences, is really just to pay homage. Like till this day, my point of making music is to make something that I enjoy and to pay homage to what made me feel a certain type of way in the first place. So yeah, like the influences from my family and the music definitely had like a major role to play for sure, for sure. So I found Little Peep through a Leafy is Here video back in what like it was it's a deleted video but it's re-uploaded on YouTube. It was Leafy's birthday, right? I was like what 14, I think I was like 13 going on to 14, and I found the video, and in the background he had the instrumental to The Way I See Things by Little Peep, and I just I couldn't stop listening to it. I found it in the description, and that was my introduction to Lil Peep. Like, and he's arguably like probably the most influential artist like in my earlier time in my music. Like him and Juice were kind of neck and neck, but when I found Peep, it was a whole side of music that it's like when you come across something that like you didn't know that you wanted or you loved until you know what I mean, you come across it. It was one of those moments. So yeah, that holds real sentimental value to me. I still love Peep. I still listen to him. Um, yeah, man. Rest in peace, love Peep. Rest in peace, Gus, man. Like when I remember I was doing history homework. And I was on SoundCloud, and I was just scrolling through songs like at random, and I came across an artist called Convolk, which again like made music quite similar to Little People, emo trap and whatnot. But I remember honestly getting more lost in the beats, like less so than the lyrics, because whether it was the drum patterns or like the even just what I mean, like the melodies and everything that enveloped around the song. That's what really captured me because that gave me an emotion. So like I think yeah, that was the first time I definitely noticed that I was like I wanted to create like something like a canvas. A beat to me is a canvas. So I wanted to dive straight head in, make my own canvas, and then the lyrics would come across later. So I started off making beats before I ever really started recording. I started producing on FL. I was watching the Genius Deconstructed videos. So TM88, how he made like EXO Tour Life, Nick Mira making all girls are the same. I just saw that was the that was the program, that was the door that everyone that all the music that I liked was kind of being made on that. And me not knowing much, I'm just kind of like, okay, this is what they use. I'm gonna pirate it, and I'm gonna go crazy with it. Absolutely dog shit in the in the beginning for like at least the first year. But yeah, I started off on FL. I've learned how to mix and master on Ableton as well. Pro Tools is still something that I'm a bit shaky with, but I definitely want to learn it because it's an industry standard. FL is my home though. That's where I built everything, and I'm gonna continue to build upon it. But I also think like I mean you see Mustard, being at the Super Bowl, and it's like what does he make his beats on? He makes it between an MPC and FL. So like and same thing with Metro Boomin. I really don't think there's these barriers anymore. I think it's just the door wars is just kind of silly. Just yeah, yeah, it's like the console wars, man. It's just if it sounds good, it sounds good, and that is the bottom line. FL for me, that just became what sat right with me. Like, there's no shade to Ableton, no shade to Logic, Cubase, Reaper. I know people that have gone fucking crazy on those doors, but FL is my home, and yeah, I think always will be like my home for sure, for sure. I started really finishing and making beats in from March 2020, like right when lockdown hit, because then I realized, okay, I can sit down, I can mess up, and it doesn't matter. Let's just try to learn everything. So I pirated all of Waves, and I tried to understand every plugin, which took me years, and I'm still learning to this day. Um, but I started off making beats on, like fully finishing them, and then yeah, I wanted to put myself out there as a producer. So I made a BeatStars profile, put it out there, but then I quickly realized, I didn't know anything about marketing, about promotion, and a lot of the beats that were kind of trending at the time, it was in a style that I just wasn't. I don't think I was well equipped for yet. But it's not really what I wanted to make. I think now, whether it's because of TikTok or because of these hope cores and all these different little subgenres that are coming, it allows for more variety in music. So whether you're mixing ambient and this and that, and that's just coming from me because I have a strong love for ambient from Aphex Twin, Brian Eno, and all these incredible like pioneers and artists. So I didn't have much success on BeatStars, but I look at it as like it was a good learning like curve for me to understand that I need to learn how to promote myself and how to push myself, not just as a producer but as an engineer as well, because you need to have value nowadays. Labels ain't gonna give a shit if just because you can write a good song or two. They want you to be able to produce, mix, master, or at least have more than one skill set. So Tolba One Deck was my name on BeatStars. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that Alex knew that, but yeah.
I was doing a bit of digging around, and I was under the assumption that it was going to be under KyroVVK.
Yeah, well, that was before I got the name. I got the name, funnily enough, with when I was talking to a friend, Aiden. He goes by Neo Futura. We were on call, and we were just talking about like names, and we were in like sometimes you get in that mood where you're just super hyped up about like life and about moving forward and making this and making that, and we were just spitballing names to each other. Um, and I don't know, KyroVVK just kind of came out of it because like I've asked myself this question many times. Why did I choose it? I just like how the word VVS, how that just it comes out and it sounds, and then also I wanted to represent where I'm from, without making it a little too right in your face. So I just Kyro VVK. VVK just sounded right to me. So I really went based off feeling. I didn't use a rap generator or something anything like that. But yeah, yeah. I had a lot of personal like shit going on, and I wasn't really coping with it well. Um, I needed to make some money on the side until would figured out what I actually wanted to do, because initially my plan was I wasn't gonna go to university. I was just gonna beat stars, and I'm gonna start moving up from there. Quickly realized it's not that easy. Very possible, but I needed to kind of like what I mean, focus on and commit to something. So yeah, my parents weren't happy with it, but I did it for my own well-being. I got a job between like Co-op on Mill Road, like here in Cambridge. Got spat on by a homeless man, and that was my final straw. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Like I'm out of here. And then I started working at Home Bargains, like in Camborne for like 4 or 5 months. Got a taste for what retail work was like, and then I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have. There is no room. I'm gonna make it. I need to make it. You know what I mean? Like it really did give me that motivation to really take this like even more seriously, and really put in the effort that like what I mean, like the rest won't. That's the best way I can put it. It sounds cocky and everything, but sometimes I feel like you need to be cocky because I hate to make it all what I mean, sappy and stuff. But you only got one life in this shit, and I really want to make this shit count. And my parents, like they've come from I've come from Egypt, and I've been blessed with an opportunity here. I don't want to mess this up, and I want to make the most out of it. So I'm not taking anything less than the best here. I remember we were talking about it. Like you brought it up about like making a group and taking advantage of this kind of gap in the market, like in Cambridge. But I never would have thought that what I mean, I'd be a part of it. I remember that conversation though, like because that really was the start of Sucker Punch. How has it impacted my career? It's kick-started my entire career. Like I don't think if I was in Sucker Punch, like if I wasn't in Sucker Punch, I don't think I would have been as keen to release. Like after we had that first show at Blue Moon, seeing all those people under one roof and just being so, you know what I mean, just fucking with the music and the vibe, that reassured to me that like that I belong on the stage, you know what I mean, as well, that I'm capable of delivering these, you know what I mean, these kind of events for people. So like I'm eternally grateful to the group and Sucker Punch just for, you know what I mean, for giving me that platform and that stage, especially in the beginning of my career, to just go and yeah, play a DJ set. It had one of my songs, Velvet Underpass. But yeah, no, it absolutely, it changed everything for me. It motivated me to want to really work on my music. Hell, it made me actually push out my release by after the second Sucker Punch on October 6th. Yeah, I dropped Blur like a couple weeks after that because I was like, it's time. It's time. Yeah. For one of the songs, I wanted to get like real rain ambience. So what I done was I recorded the song like in my room with everything, and then I took the stems, got like I got the biggest JBL speaker that I could get, went to this massive. Funny enough, it's where Velvet Underpass is named after, like on that in that place on the outskirts of Cambourne. Placed the speaker at like near one on one end. So I borrowed two mics from the studios, placed them there, and I tried to get that binaural sound. And it was my luck. It was raining, and there were cars driving by on top. So I was able to get like a genuine cold atmosphere that like fit Blur perfectly. I think if you look at the cover art, that's kind of like that's what I'm trying to make the music sound like, and vice versa. The Are We Okay? It's meant to sound like the cover. Like Ultraviolet, it's meant to sound like the cover. Like it, I have a weird connection between, you know, when it comes to colors and music. Biggest influences, if I really have to go for it, it would be Grouper for her like ambient sonic beds, like in the textures, and her like got ghastly but incredible vocals, like Ethel Kane, Frank Ocean, Lucki. Lyrically speaking, Dave and Skepta, they're massive influences to me. Massive. Mac Miller, absolutely. Mac Miller, his whole approach to even making his own beats and his level of honesty and like that again, that was like Mac Miller was like the soundtrack to my life for like a few years in lockdown, and it often still is, to be honest. But yeah, it is quite a big mishmash. But every one of those artists, they have a place in why my music sounds the way it does. And again, I just want to pay homage. I'm not saying I'm making something new necessarily. You know what I mean? I just want to make music that makes me feel good and it gives me a certain feeling. And I want to pay homage to these artists that have given us, you know, these great pieces of art. I often would like wear it on my sleeve, and I'm not afraid to. Yeah, I'm not afraid to do so. Like people, if people want to point out like similarities or like, oh, you're doing like what they did. It's like, yeah, I'm still in the beginning of my career and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm absolutely wearing my influences on my sleeve. I love these artists, and if even being remotely compared to one of them, like that's a massive compliment. You know what I mean? That I take to heart and I appreciate. Off the top of my head, I can think of two reasons. So one is just like being around artists like that were doing it, like Revan, and like even like you, and like showing me stuff like hardstyle and these different types of like European like rave music that I really wasn't introduced to ever before. Like again, I'd heard something that I'd like in something like, you know, in jungle, specifically jungle, and that would be what I like instead of, you know, like the aggressive drum and bass. So I wanted to have my own go at jungle because it's like, again, I want to dibble and dabble with everything. I'm not locking myself into, oh, I'm a rapper, oh, I'm a singer, I'm a whatever. I make what I feel, and if I like it, I put it out there. You know what I mean? I do find a lot of value in instrumental tracks, in whether you want to call them interludes or like oh, I have instrumentals on most EPs just because I think sometimes it's nice to have a break, and I try to make those as like as serene as possible for the listener, just because I don't know, I feel like there's always so much shit going on in the world. It's like when you put on some music, you either want to focus or you want to just let go. I got an EP that I'm working on right now called Termina. I'm really, really excited. I know everyone says that, and I think naturally when you work on something new, um, and it makes you feel, like that level of excited, like you just kind of want to put it out there. But I'm trying to, I'm trying to hold back and wait until I finish uni, finish my dissertation, so I can really roll this out properly. Because
Yes, because I know you have a habit of just releasing on the day.
yeah. No, I'm very, very, very impulsive in that regard, because sometimes I just want to, I don't want to keep listening on Google Drive. I want to listen on on Apple Music and Spotify. I want to hear my music. I like seeing it out there, people being receptive to it. It's one of the most like giving things that, that you could have, is someone come and say, hey, I love your song, like I listened to it, or it made me feel this way or whatever. That for me is like, because I'm not the best like social person per se, right? So having a connection like that through something in a medium like music, it allows me to connect with people in a way that I otherwise wouldn't be able to. I want it to be the most personal, but also like, yeah, the most personal EP so far. But I also want to show like how much growth I've had since the beginning, since Blur came out. All I'm gonna say is I've just been listening to more Young Lean, older Travis Scott, Ethel Cain, a lot of Dean Blunt, wide range of artists that, like, I know it just kind of sounds like a little mishmash, but again, a lot of my music, I like, it just tends to be like an ambient lo-fi kaleidoscope. So I'm trying to expand that even more, but make it, clear and very. I want to make it very potent EP. I'd say let go of like hate. If you hate someone, if you hate yourself, if you if you I think harboring something that strong, because people, I think we often kind of forget how strong emotions can be, and how often they can leak into different parts of our lives. I think it's not an easy thing to do, but if there's one thing, it's let go of hate. I'm not going to say negativity, because that's too broad, but hate. I think there's so much of it in this world already, and we really don't need to perpetuate that. So show more love and kill the hate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Good.
That's fucking dope, man.